Senator Cory Booker joining us now. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. Let's first talk about the news of the week, the impeachment hearings from the House. We're expecting it in the Senate. Your thoughts on the process and the speed that Democrats are taking to move this along?
Well, I think the process all stems from the fact that we had a president who was willing to hold hostage bipartisan resources, our taxpayer dollars, that should have been going directly and immediately to an ally in crisis, and was willing to hold them up for their own personal gain. And so the question is this acceptable? And I do believe that no one should be above the law, and no president should be able to act in a way that is more about them than about the interests and the national security interests of this country. So the House has been moving to do what it was designed to do, which is to hold the President of the United States accountable for their actions. And these impeachment proceedings have moved forward, unfortunately, without the American people having the benefit of the interviews of people that have direct knowledge of this, like the vice president, like the secretary of state, like the chief of staff to the president of the United States, because he refused to even let them participate in the process. So the House seems to be doing the best they can with pretty damning evidence, and now we seem to be seeing that this is going to be sent to the Senate, where I will be one of 100 jurors who will evaluate the evidence and vote in accordance with their conscience.
Senator, I'm wondering, in your travels as a candidate for president and, of course, as a senator, does impeachment really register on the minds of the voters that you're speaking with, or are they more focused on their own lives?
I think we all are focused on a lot of the immediate urgencies of our lives. Can we afford our prescription drugs? Will our children be safe going to school in a culture where we see more and more mass shootings? Will we be able to go to work and have a living wage? All of these things are obviously the most immediate things that I'm encountering, and that's why this election is so important. But gosh, we're a sophisticated society. We can have an ongoing campaign for the highest office in our land, a tradition going back to the founding of our nation, as well as have a president who's being held accountable for their actions. So I don't think this is a campaign issue. I think this goes to the root of what the Constitution designed our Congress to be, which is to hold a president accountable. So I put the politics aside. I think that we swore an oath to do a duty as Congresspeople, and we should do that duty and let the politics lie where they will. And I'm privileged enough to be running for the highest office in the land, and I can talk to voters about their concern and do my job as a senator as well.
Let's talk specifically, one last question here about your run for the presidency. A lot of the players have changed. Some of the demographics of the candidates on the Democratic side have changed, and the threshold to get to the debates has changed. Are you concerned by some of the alterations that have been taking place in the makeup and I guess your own ability? Are you going to be able to get back on the debate stage again?
Yeah, I hope so. And right now, so many people are going to CoryBooker.com and contributing. We've seen the best online contributions of the whole campaign because people want my voice in this. We have one of the strongest campaigns in the early primary states. In fact, the top campaign for local leaders, mayors, city council people, for endorsements. And I'm really proud of that. But this is new. We've never had a debate stage where somebody put this artificial barrier. If we had it in the past, we wouldn't have seen campaigns shape up, because we know the polls have never predicted from the Democratic Party in our lifetime who would go on to the White House. In fact, everybody who's gone on to the White House from our party in our lifetime has always been way behind in the polls at this point, around 1% for Jimmy Carter, around 4% for Bill Clinton. In fact, Barack Obama at this point was about 20 points behind Hillary Clinton. So the polls have not been predictive, and my campaign is looking a lot like a John Kerry campaign, who was polling in the low single digits, but had such a great ground operation in Iowa and New Hampshire and those early primary states that as soon as the voting started, they went from polling sixth to finishing at the top. And that's what we plan on doing, especially for those people who want my voice in this race, if we continue to see the kind of grassroots online contributions to my campaign.
Well, Senator Booker, thank you very much for the quick chat, and good luck in the campaign. We appreciate it, sir.
Well, thank you for being a voice for my mom. My mom lives there in Las Vegas, and I appreciate you providing the great news for her and others in your community.
We'll see you back here in Nevada. Thank you, sir.
I hope so. Thank you so much.